What up, everyone? Time for another box and another review. So we have Power Up box. So people have been driving me nuts asking me about this one, asking if I'm getting it, asking if I heard of it. So I'm so happy to finally do this review so everyone can get it out there because I've been waiting for it for a long time. My shirt even matches, look. Power Up. So yeah, I thought that was fitting for the Power Up box. So, for this box, there are two types of boxes that they offer. They offer a premium and a deluxe. So it's hard to tell which one's the better one because they both sound like the more expensive option. I can't remember which one this is. I'm pretty sure it's the deluxe, but either way, this is the more expensive one. I'm always going to go with the more expensive option because I feel like that gives me a better feel of the company. When you put less money in there, you get less variety. It's hard to get a good feel for the company, whether they're good or not. So I always do the more expensive option. That way I get a quicker idea of whether or not I like that company or not. So, this was the more expensive box. And it was expensive. This cost $40. $38.95 I think was the exact amount. So, the website advertises $30. But then they charge almost $10 for shipping, which is a big deal, and that sucks. They really need to change that and work on it. But let's get into some items on this box. So first, we got a t-shirt, and this was very interesting. This kind of intrigued me. So this is a cool shirt. It's from the Dark Knight, which is a movie from a long time ago at this point. It's 2007, it's 2015, so 8 years ago? Dang, long time ago. But yeah, it's a cool shirt. It's got the Heath Ledger Joker, the Why So Serious line, which was ever so popular for a very long time. But the interesting about this shirt is the quality. This is like the softest, like gentlest shirt I've ever seen in a box, ever. Usually, even the nicest ones are only like semi-soft. They're usually like still very gritty and very cheap. This one, the company, the brand of shirt is I don't know how to pronounce it, AL Style, All Style, something like that. But I've never heard of this printing brand before. But it's very nice, it's very soft, and it fit pretty well. It actually feels like a real t-shirt. It doesn't feel like someone made it in their garage like most of the shirts are. It's actually like the nicest, softest quality that I've seen to date. So that really blew my mind. That's very impressive that they got such a nice quality shirt. So I'm not sure if it cost them a lot more, but it's just getting harder to excuse these really crappy shirts and how rough and uncomfortable they are. It's really getting harder and harder to accept those shitty shirts when there are much nicer ones out there. But enough about that shirt. Nice shirt, cool design. I really liked it. Good choice. So next, the next thing we got was a Fabrikation. So this is one of Funko's many products, because they come out with more all the time, a Batman Fabrikation. So I really like this series, and to be quite honest, I'm really surprised this is the first time I've seen it. I thought for sure at least one other box would try it, because I really enjoy this series. I like what they do with it. It's very high in quality. It's like stitched fabric, so it's what's in the art world called a soft sculpture. But it's stitched very well. It's like has a nice felt feel to it. It looks adorable the way they do with the big head and the small body. And the box is really cool too. It has a lot of like artwork and concept designs on the side and on the inside, and it's just all around like really cool stuff. So I'm totally blown away that no other box has even touched on it. So I know it's harder for a lot of other boxes to do because these are expensive. But some definitely could have, like Nerd Block and stuff, like they totally could have at least once, and I'm still pretty shocked that no one has. It's unfortunate for me because I recently bought Batman. A long time ago in my weekly review, I showed him off. So I unfortunately already have him. They don't have a lot of these out at the moment. They're somewhat a new series, but coming out with Ninja Turtles one soon. I got Deadpool, I got Rocket Raccoon. I really like this series, and they're really cool, really well done. So I think that was a very good choice. It's a little harder because they only have so many, so if you like the series, chances are you probably already had one, and Batman seems like the most common one to get. So that's a little unfortunate, but I still like that they put it in there. I still think it's a very good choice, and I'm totally shocked that no other company has this entire time, especially because boxes love Funko stuff. It's such an easy sell for for them. It's just Funko all the time cramming in there, but yet not one of these. Go figure. But anyway, again, first two, good choices. I really like it. Next, we have the Mystery Mini from the Marvel series. So this is an older series. It's a little outdated. So I feel like they should have picked something a little more current. But it's still okay. It was a decent series. This is the bobblehead ones too, which the Marvel ones are, which I hate. That's not the fault of the box, but I'm just mad at Funko for putting bobblehead ones. They're terrible design for the bobblehead. I don't like that at all. But this was a decent series, so it was a semi-decent choice. So yeah, we got a little Mystery Mini. Next, we got a Pocket Mini, and I got Raphael. So this was actually fortunate for me because I actually wanted to get these turtles. I didn't want to get the full-size pop ones because I've mentioned before I actually like the mini pops better than the regular size pop figures because honestly in quality they're about the same. The regular size pop figures, like, they're pretty shitty quality. The paint jobs are always a mess, and honestly these mini ones, the paint job's just as good as the bigger ones. So, and to save space for me, I always like smaller items. As you can see, I like things much smaller than normal. So I'd much rather have a mini pop than the regular one. It's cheaper, it saves space, quality's the same, looks the same, like, that's a win for me. So I'd rather have this size. And I happen to have wanted the turtles anyway, so now I have one less I have to get. So that was a cool choice. Turtles. Next, we got some candy. And I don't mind candy at all. And this was an interesting choice. So they're like ring pops that have the shape of Spider-Man's head on there. So that's cool. It's good quality candy. It came in nice packaging. So I think if you're going to put candy in, like something interesting like this would be a good choice. So I don't mind that at all. Candy. Now here's where we get a little bit weird. So we got a lanyard, and we got what's called a cinch bag. The one that has the little drawstrings, their little plastic thing. Pull the drawstrings, it closes it. And both of them have just say Power Up Box and basically have their logo on it, which I don't really like that. Cinch bags and lanyards in general are just very common items, and you can only have so many of them. Like, a person only needs technically one lanyard and kind of one cinch bag. If you're using either one, you really only need one. You're not going to switch them out too often. And to have one with their logo on it, like, I don't really like that. I have the problem with One Up Box, them plastering their logo on everything. It gets kind of annoying after a while. And to be quite honest, I don't know this company. I don't know these people. Like, this is the first box I've ever gotten from them. I haven't even decided if I like this box yet. But yet I'm advertising for you guys. Like, give it a little bit of time. Wait for people to, like, start to get a community going. Like, start to have an appreciation for you before you, like, want your logo on their stuff. Because I'm not going to use this. Like, if it had, like, Marvel or some cool character on there, yeah, I'd totally do it. But something with just the box design on there from a box that I've just recently heard of, I don't know. And again, like, things like this is usually stuff that you would get for free. If you've gone to, like, any kind of convention, not even a comic book convention, but any convention anywhere, like businesses and stuff, they usually hand out this kind of stuff for free. Like cheap lanyards, cheap cinch bags. It's usually stuff they hand out for free to advertise their company. So I'm hoping that's all they saw it as too, just like free extra stuff to put in there to advertise for their own company. That's fine. I hope they're not thinking like this is items though, that this is like collectible stuff that we would like. I hope it was just extras for the first box. So I hope they realize that as well. So anyway, got a cinch bag and a lanyard. And the last item, a comic book. Spider-Gwen, number 2. So, as usual, I always prefer a number 1, as I'm sure anyone would, because if you're going to start reading a series, you're not going to start at number 2. So if you're interested in it, starting at number 2, this is kind of useless. This isn't rare at all. It doesn't have a high resale value, so getting a number 2 comic is always kind of pointless. So it's not horrible, because you can just have one more to get to start the series, but it's not really good either. It has no value, and it doesn't really serve a purpose. So that was just kind of a so-so item. But that was all the items in the box. Pretty decent for a first box, not too bad. But let's talk about the value of this box. Alright, value time. So the shirt. I think this deserves my standard value of 12 to 15 easily. You know, it might even be more than that because it's a higher quality shirt, but I always have a hard time valuing any higher than like $15 because even though it's nice quality and it's a cool design on a shirt, you can still go to like Target or Walmart and find shirts of equal quality that fit just as good with just as cool designs for $10 or even less, like $7.50. So even though this is nice, I have a hard time ever putting a value at like full like $20 value because most places don't charge that anyway, and you can usually get a discount bringing it down to like 15 or cheaper, even for the best of shirts with the best of designs. So pretty standard. This was a good quality shirt though, so I will give it to them. They did a good choice by picking this brand. It had a nice design on it, so as far as shirts go, this is pretty top notch. I very much enjoyed it, and it's very comfortable too. So I really like that, and I really appreciate that. So 12 to 15. Next, the Fabrikation. So not much argument here. These run right around $20. Depending on where you go, you can get them as cheap as like 18, but that's not much cheaper. So 18 to 20, like, but right around 20 is fair to say. Next, the Mystery Mini. This is an older series, so like I've said before, I'm fine with them putting in Mystery Minis in any box, but I would hope they pick current series. Because when they pick an older series like this, like, if you had any interest in it, you would have already bought it. And like me, like, I've already bought most of these, and I've collected all that I care to collect from this series and got the ones that I want. Because this came out more than a year ago. These are more than a year old, so it's kind of outdated. And they just came out with like Avengers ones and stuff like that, so they could have easily put those in and I would have been happy with it. So again, I'm always happy to see Mystery Minis because I like them, but I would hope that all boxes keep it current, especially for something cheaper on this end. So, but anyway, this is $6 though. No argument there. The Pocket Pop, the mini keychain, $5, standard value. The candy. So these ones, these actually run a little bit, at somewhere between $3 and $5. You could find them online for around that price. If you got them in a candy store, I could see them at least going for $3, if not $5, maybe even $6. But $3 to $5 I think is a fair value. It's cool. They look good. I'll probably try them out, and they're fun little ring-shaped things with Spider-Man's head. So I think $3 to $5 is a fair value on that. Next, the comic book. Spider-Gwen. So I heard this was a good series. I heard it's very popular, especially the #1 issue was very popular. But there's really nothing special about a #2. Value on it, $4. How do I know? It says $3.99. And even if you look online, that's about how much it goes for. There's really no resale value to that whatsoever. So around $3, like if you had to pay for shipping another $1, so or $4, so $4 is around that. Next, the last items, the lanyard and the cinch bag. So I have a hard time putting any value on this because, like I said, this seems like free swag that you would get at any convention anywhere. But if I had to put a value on it, really not much, because I think total for the both of these, I would think $5, and that's being generous. Because honestly, as far as lanyards go, you could buy a nice one with like Marvel characters or DC characters printed on there with the card holder with a keychain for $5, maybe $6 with all of that. So something plain like this, like really not much. And the same with the cinch bag. These go crazy cheap. These they give away for free. I got one with Rocket Raccoon on it the other day from Subway for free. It's a really awesome one, and it's like semi-waterproof for free. That came with a sandwich. Like, so again, these are pretty much nothing. So giving $5 for the two of them is being more than generous on that. And again, I hope they realize that this is just extra free stuff. I hope they don't expect any value on either of these. It's fine to have them in there, but please don't ever count them as an item. And I hope they don't show up ever again in the future. And even if they do different items, I hope they don't plaster their logo on it, because things like that aren't hard to find and they're not expensive, and they could have easily found one with different characters on there, which I hope they do in the future. So, that being said, the value on this one, on the low end was $55 and on the high was $60. So not a lot of leeway there. It was pretty defined price because they put a lot of Funko stuff in there, and those prices are very defined. There's pretty much no resale value on any Funko products because they're just so common. You can get them anywhere, so they're pretty much the price that anyone would charge for them. And considering we paid about $40, the value's not super great on it, so not too much more than you paid for. You definitely got more than you paid for, nowhere near double, which I don't think this box ever will be. I just don't see that happening because they charge way too much for shipping. I think $10 for shipping is too much, even on a bigger box. In my personal opinion, I think this box should sell for $30 including shipping. I think it should sell for the same price that Nerd Block does. If they can put all the stuff in there that they do and ship it from Canada to the US, total $30, I think this company should be able to as well. So even though I got the bigger box, you got like I said, close to the amount of stuff that you would get in Nerd Block, close to the value of stuff you would get in any Nerd Block or Arcade Block. So I think that's what they should charge. So since they don't, it's at a $40 value, that makes it with a lower score. But I do appreciate the choices they had. I did like the Fabrikation because although it's Funko and it's not that hard to find, they were the first one ever to do that. And I really like that series. I think more boxes should do it. So they're a more expensive box, so they can put nicer things like that in there. And they can order nicer shirts with softer quality and nicer logos. So they did have those two good choices. But on the other hand, this Funko one I don't think was a very good choice. The mini one worked out for me, but I don't think it would have worked out for everyone. So it was kind of 50-50 on the choices. So I'm going to give this box a 6 out of 10. So I think it was just on like this side of good. You got more than you paid for. You got a decent value. But even though you got more than you paid for, $40 is still a lot to put down every month for a box. This is officially the most expensive box in America. But it is the most expensive one. Out of all the ones I have, this is the most expensive. But it's not the best one. So if you're going to be the most expensive, you got to like put your money where your mouth is. You got to be the best box then. That's kind of how it works. So, and the choices were fine, but they could put some more creativity into it. Like I said, the lanyard and the bag, if they switched those out and maybe had a more current pop or mystery mini, then I think it would have gotten much higher. Maybe a 7 or even an 8 because they would have had better choices. But I think 6 out of 10 is a reasonable one. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. I think it's worth a try. I don't think I'm ever going to try the cheaper one because I saw what someone got on the cheaper box. They didn't get a Fabrikation. They got the shirt, and then instead of the Fabrikation, they got napkins. Batman napkins, which is a really weird choice. Which just solidifies the fact that if you're ever getting a box, never go with the cheaper option. It always shows that it is definitely cheaper, and it always shows that it's a worse choice. So always go with the more expensive one. So if you're interested, I'd say try it out. These newer boxes, it's always a gamble. When I see brand new companies, it's always a huge gamble because there are no reviews out there. There's no way to decide. And most of the time, people recommend new boxes. I get new recommendations all the time, which I appreciate, by the way. Please always recommend new ones. But most of the companies, the newer ones, like I'll go to their website, and it's like really shitty. It looks like someone like programmed the website themselves. Like it's just very pixelated. Like the menu options are just very basic. That things don't work very well, and it's just like, ooh, like I think I'm gonna pass on this one. Let this company get a little more established. But that wasn't the case for this one. I went to their website and everything looked really good. This is one of the few ones that I've tried out with like 0 reviews out there and just like put some faith in there. And I think it was a decent choice. Like I'm not at all disappointed. I think I got my money's worth and got some cool choices. Again, I wish I had gotten a different Fabrikation, but that's not their fault. It was still a cool choice. And I think I'll have no problem selling that because it's a popular series. So, again, if you want to try it out, go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but don't expect a super high value. And I promise you, it's never going to be near double. So, I hope they adjust their shipping, and I hope they bring it down to closer to a $30 price point. But anyway, this has been Power Up Box. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought about the items personally and what you hope for in the months to come. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Peace.